to Cross Bars, the podcast where we discuss interesting topics with a perspective. I'm your co-host, Big O. Have with me.
And you got Jay today. She's back in the building one more time with none other than Mr. Joel Steingold, the actor, the host, the voiceover artist, the commentator, the man of many hats. Give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up for Joel Steingold, y'all. Knockout punches.
Yo, listen,
Absolutely, absolutely.
listen. Let's first we have to definitely acknowledge that he is not giving us light skin energy. He is definitely one of the brothers that we gonna definitely might adopt him into the brown skin. You can't go dark
I
skin,
can't. I
but the
can't.
brown
I
skin
can't.
coalition
This
is
is
going
this
to
is my
adopt.
philosophy. My philosophy is whatever skin you in is the right skin. So I'm right skinned. I ain't light skinned. Okay?
I got you. I got you.
That's how I
Bars.
feel about it.
Bars. I don't
Right.
know. Listen, brother. You light skinned brothers took an L when J. Cole
He
apologized to the
schooled
district.
you. He schooled you on that one, Big O.
Yeah,
He
but I
schooled you
know,
on that
but
one. That was the best
J.
one.
Cole
That's the
kind of
best
took
one
him
so
down a
far.
notch.
When O go low, Joe go high.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
bars.
He's on fire. Oh, you better get
Bars.
ready.
Yeah, I'm
You
ready.
better
I'm
get
ready.
ready.
All right. So first and foremost, Joe, where are you originally from?
Originally from Detroit, Michigan. West Side.
West side.
Grand River,
Oh, okay.
Southfield.
So,
OG.
damn, I thought you was over there. So you on the other side, not the meat side. You on the other side.
Now on the east side. I spent a
Yeah.
year on the east side, you know what I mean? That was a good time, but I grew up on the west side.
All right, cool. All right, so if you was on the other side, I gotta ask you about how much weight was you? Okay.
That's a whole different story. Everybody know east side is a little more gully than the west side of Detroit, although the west side is no slouch.
Yeah, no. It's Detroit. You know what I mean? Every time I talk about Detroit, I feel like I have to say pause. I'll be like, "Oh, you from the D?" I'm like, "Whoa, wait
Right.
a minute."
I mean, the main difference between east side and west side is the east side has the Mound Correctional Facility. If there's a correctional facility on your side of town, you win the Hood Olympics. You
Facts.
know, you win. Right, y'all tougher.
Just like,
Right.
yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna graduate and go to college. Be like, where you going? To University of Detroit? Oh, no, right there. The fence is right there. Absolutely. Okay, so you're from Detroit. How was it growing up in Detroit? Was it like tough, middle class, or were you one of the wealthy people?
No, middle class, single mom. She's a social worker, so I'll say like solid middle
Okay.
class.
All right.
But life was good. It was different. I would say my experience probably not your traditional Detroit experience because I grew up. My father's black, my mom is Jewish. She raised me by herself, so like I spent one day a week in the suburbs going to Hebrew school, and then the rest of the week I was in Detroit public school. So I kind of grew up in between these two worlds. So my experience was like from I literally just thought of this off the dome. I was like from hood to chutzpah. I was in
Bars.
between
From
bars.
hoods to hoods.
Yeah,
But,
yo, that is beautiful because
I love that.
yeah, because that just sparked 5 more questions. So
okay.
now having a perspective of being black, because we're not going to, understand like, no, you're black. However, having Jewish, do you believe that being Jewish was a ethnicity? Because for me, I'm telling you, just Omar perspective, Big O.
Yeah.
Jewish is a religion. Like you could be Christian, you could be black and white, you could be Asian Christian, you could be Muslim, you could be a black Muslim, you could be white, you could be Asian Muslim, and like Jewish. I could be black, you could be white Jewish, you could be Asian Jewish. But one time speaking to a person, this person was not Jewish. This was another educator. And I said, Judaism, that's a religion. He said, no, it's a culture. And I was like, I don't know. And he was saying, no, like you could look at a person and tell they're Jewish. I said, could you tell if I'm Jewish? He said, you're not Jewish. I was like, how you know I'm not Jewish? I never told you my religion. And he was like, well, you could just tell. And I said, well, what? He's like, well, and then he went to some stereotypes, which I thought was weird being an educator. Well, they got the nose. And I'm like, yo, fam, I hope you ain't saying this to no kids. Like, you got to have a note. Like, no, fam. I promise you, I don't think that's the requirement. But, can you give me something else? And he said, nah, like you're black can't be. And I said, okay, well, I'm gonna leave on this one because now I know that you don't really know too much and I don't want to have an ignorant conversation with an educator. I was like, all right, let me hit you with this one, believe. know Jesus was black, right? Yeah, you know he's Jewish. Yeah, all right, I'm gonna leave. Yeah, now you figure that one out, and when you solve that equation, I'm gonna be all right. But what is your perspective? Because I spoke on mine, but what is your perspective?
Yeah. Well, it's layered and it's complicated. Number one, there's different forms of Judaism, Hasidic Jews, Orthodox Jews, Reform Jews, conservative Jews. So number one, you have different sects of Judaism. I think one reason a lot of people feel like Judaism is a religion and a culture is because there is a language attached to Judaism. There's Hebrew. There's cuisine that is attached to Judaism. Matzo ball soup. I've just mentioned one. And there's different like rituals and traditions attached to it. So I think that's what makes it uniquely a religion and a culture. Because like there is no Christian food, there's no Christian language.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think because it has those attachments, I think that's what makes people feel like it's a culture and a religion. And that's why you'll find Jews that are like, oh, I'm not a religious Jew, I'm a cultural Jew, meaning I don't practice the religion, but I consider, myself, from the Jewish experience. But I mean, like I said, it's complicated too, because I do believe that the original Jews were black people. I do not know what happened in between as to why now most of the Jews you see come from European or Eastern European descent versus black. I mean, you hardly meet black Jews. It's me and Drake and Lenny Kravitz and I think it's like 14 more I can't think of.
And the whole, like almost the whole country of Ethiopia. But
that's
Ethiopian Jews. Country of Ethiopia. All right, got you.
Ethiopian Jews too, but like when you think of what a Jewish person looks like, you typically don't think of a person of color.
Right.
And I can't answer that question because I haven't studied it at length.
That's great.
But I think why people say, oh, there's a Jewish look is because the prevalent representation of a Jewish person right now is a person of European or Eastern European descent. And a lot of those Jews do have similar facial characteristics. Not all, but a lot do. I mean, I think that's just because there's a overall sense or overall desire for humans to generalize. We see it how when people ask from simply, oh, how old are you? Or what's your astrological sign? Or what do you do? We have a strong desire to want to generalize people and put them into boxes. We figure out different ways to do it. Some, like I said, sometimes it's how you look, your age, your astrological sign, your credit score, what high school you went to. There is a need to, like, I need to understand you and compare you to other ideas I have of that group of people. So I think that's really the root of
it. I respect that, and you gave a very articulate and beautiful articulate answer. And you know, I would actually lean towards your answer versus mine because I'm from the outside of the culture looking in, and now you have a lived experience. And so that's why I'm like, okay, pretty awesome. Thank you. And so the listeners will have, you know, their opinion of it. Now, my next question is, what high school you go? Did you go to the illustrious Cass Tech or were you at another one?
All day.
Cass Tech. Boy, I'm telling
in this country with a gang sign.
Yeah, Cass Tech. You know what I mean? Listen. Look, everybody, look. The cats tell me from Detroit. I say, listen, I know where they say all the smart people. All the smart people went to Cass Tech. Now, if you went to somewhere else, you was hood. I went to Southeast.
If they could read, they went to Cass.
Yeah, it was like, I went to school in Jello Rose. Jello Rose told me he had 4 gyms. So I don't know. So I'm like, it's cool.
Hey, you know what else?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say the reason why Cass Tech folks are so proud is that every other high school hated on Cass Tech the entire time. So we constantly had to defend ourselves physically and vocally.
Oh, okay.
We super proud because everybody wanted to fight us or did fight us. So
yo, that's what's up.
Literally, like it was like growing up like Drake. It's just like 20 on 1, 21st one.
Yo, my college teammates, Sean Young from Detroit. He you know, down in Greensboro now, and I always mess with him like, man, Cass Tech ain't nothing. Just to get on his skin, and he always get him up. I'm like, if I want to get on him, I'm like, man, those suckers from Cass Tech. Like he might hear something and he don't see me come. I'm like, man, I hate them Cass Tech. What? Like, you know,
don't play with it. Hey, look, hey, guess what? And he's also visited, would be part of your school too. You know, Mr. Steingold went to North Carolina A&T for a little
Oh, he
stint. Am I
did.
right, man? Am I correct, Mr. Steingold?
Almost. I went to North Carolina School of the Arts, NCSA. So down the street a
Ah,
little bit.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
man,
I
was
was
up there
close.
in Durham, up there in Raleigh. Man, get out of here. It's close
No,
to
I
the
was in Winston
central.
Salem.
Oh, what's the
Winston
oh,
Salem.
oh, wait a minute. Wait. So hold up. Oh, yeah, because they have the film festival in Winston-Salem, the big one. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't really know that Winston-Salem has a very rich history and short films, especially African American and Black film festival that's there. So you went to school at the School of the Arts. Oh my God, that's awesome. Because listen, I'm like a amateur movie connoisseur slash musical buff. So
Okay.
you start spitting some things, like people look like,
Yes, yes.
how do you know that? And I'll be like, man, I'm goofy. And I got AD, no, I got DDDDD, I got like
Oh, you got Diddy, Diddy,
I got
DD.
D D
What
D
is
D
that?
D D D
What is
D.
this? What is Diddy, DD?
Yeah,
Too many days.
yeah,
Fall.
that one. So like when people said, they got like attention to like I'm everything. So
Uh-huh.
when I
Really.
got addicted personality. So when I really get into something, like I really get into it. So I went to a couple of African American film festivals. Went to the one in Martha's Vineyard, went to the one down in Miami. Was trying to get to the Winston-Salem one. I was like, I'm the closest to this one, but every time
Right.
they have it, I'm busy, and it's like, and it's like, you know, like we had a couple of guests and they said, "Oh my, you should put together a 10-minute set." And I'm like, I respect comedians so much, I can't do that. And number two, you know what? I'm living room funny. I'm not out there funny. Like if I'm
Uh,
talking to you, I could joke around and because in my neighborhood, listen, walking around, like you can't see it, but I got a big head. As soon as you see me, oh, that's one. You know what I mean? I got this big old right there. You know what I mean? But I had to know how to defend, so I'm just got jokes forever. So, our producer, me and him, that's my man. We come on, I'm joking him. So now, seeing that you from over there and you went to sell them, how did they treat you over there? Because Winston-Salem State, home of the chocolate thighs.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Look, look,
Well,
look. I don't want to get you in trouble because some
now
people
you're
don't
not
know
gonna
these
get me in
things.
trouble
Oh,
because
okay.
I mean I went to School of the Arts, which is really close to Winston-Salem State, but
Yeah, yeah.
I was broke. I ain't had no car,
It ain't matter. It
and
ain't matter.
it was
You was
the
light skinned
acting
and
program.
you had a beard. Did you have the beard? And you was light skinned. I
No,
think you was
I
Nah,
light.
had a
he was
goatee.
clean.
I had a goatee. I look Puerto Rican then.
Oh
So
my
that
God. They be trying. Yo, them girls is shallow because they be like, he got good hair. And they be messing with you. Cause my man AB, my roommate, they used to be
Relax.
yeah, yo, I was like, you see, it's still emotional to me. Like they
I
used to be
see
like, yo, hook me up with your friend. I'm like, oh,
drama.
that's messed up. They like it because his hair was all wavy and stuff like
But
that.
Nah,
School
well,
of the Art,
I started losing my hair in college, so I never
Oh,
had a
you
choice.
are part of the crew. All right. I thought you just did it for the style, but what I'm saying, like God tried to hate on you, huh? All right, I got you. Me too. I had
all
braids in
right.
college. So that was like dead wrong because now kids look at me and be like, yo, I can't imagine with hair. And I'm like, yo, forget y'all. And
It was a
I
different
really want to
time.
put the middle finger up at people, but you can't do that. But we got to bring back snuffing people. That's all. But getting to something. See, my
Non-violence,
DD.
brother.
We digress.
Non-violence.
Let's move it on. Move it on.
Yeah,
Move it on.
moving
What you
on.
got?
All right. So now, School of the Arts. But what made you go from Cass Tech? Because it would have been a seamless transition going from Cass Tech to A&T because A&T is agriculture and tech.
Yeah, I mean,
That was
I was close to going to Howard.
oh,
I'd auditioned for their theater
Wayne
program.
State.
I
oh,
mean, the
so you
main
was going
reason
to
I went to North
theater. Okay.
Carolina School of the Arts was because they offered me scholarship money, which as an actor, that's kind of rare to get
Very true.
coming out of high school. So I was like, let me go where they're giving me some money. But culturally and socially, I definitely wanted to go to Howard because I got to visit the campus when I auditioned and all that. So there's definitely
Mm-hmm.
a part
Thank
of me
God
that's
you
like,
ain't go.
what if I went to Howard?
Thank
But
God
I
you ain't
went to
go.
North Carolina.
Nah,
Why?
you'll get lost there. I had way too many friends. Yeah, they just lived in Maryland now. They working, but Howard, they just like they lost their minds because just your
Yeah,
fam.
socially, I
So,
may have suffered. I mean,
Yeah,
if I
you'd
had a
have
good
lost your
time, I
mind.
would have suffered scholastically. But I
Yeah,
went to North
you
Carolina. I
never
only went there
know.
for
You
2
never
years.
know.
yeah.
Yeah, you never know.
And then Wayne State. It had something about I
Yeah,
seen something about you going to Wayne State. Okay.
yeah. I graduated from Wayne State. My Dukes went there too. But yeah, so I got North Carolina School of the Arts. I like to share this story so people understand. Every artist and actor's journey is very different. North
Right.
Carolina School of the Arts then had a cut program. They called it sophomore slaughter, And during the sophomore year, they would cut a certain amount of actors who they didn't think were right for their program. And they cut me. They told me they didn't think I was cut out to be an actor. I should consider doing something else. And
Why they mad now? They mad.
I'm just
I'm
like
sorry.
the boys'
Go
culture.
ahead. Go ahead.
Like, what? They cut me.
People
For
doing the
sure.
best they can. They doing
Yes.
the best they can out
I'm
here.
sorry.
And
Yeah.
it's a very subjective thing. And also the journey of an actor and a performer blossoms at different times. So maybe they were right in that era of, you know,
Right.
my progress, but took some time off, did some soul searching, and then re-enrolled or enrolled at Wayne State, and then did a bunch of plays there. Got my Bachelor of Fine Arts there. Stuck around Detroit for about a year. Worked professionally in Detroit doing voiceovers and industrial films, and then moved to LA. So that's kind of how that transition from NCSA, North Carolina School of the Arts, to Wayne State.
Okay.
And my
So
mama was teaching there, so you know I got to go there for the love.
oh no,
Hey,
no. I'm a
hey,
feeling.
that's the best. That's the
No, I'm a
best.
feeling. I know what happened. Cause see, everybody he gave that one. See, what happened is he got cut. He came home. Your mom said, "Oh no, you ain't sitting on my couch doing nothing. Yeah, you either gonna be in school or you gonna have a job." And she took you up to Wayne State, right?
Yeah,
Pretty much. Okay, yeah. Let me fill that in. Yeah.
She instilled that in me growing up, so she ain't had to say nothing. I had a
Oh,
job.
okay, yeah.
All right, bars. He already knew. He already knew. So was your mom or somebody else into acting? How did you get into that whole theater thing and want to be, you know, in that genre?
My mother, she wasn't an actress, but she was a patron and a lover of the arts. So, you know, growing up, we went to lots of dance concerts, theater. You know, she saw I had an interest in acting, so I took my first acting class when I was 11. And you know, we just always at cultural festivals, so I was surrounded by the arts growing up because she just appreciated it so much. So that's kind of how I caught the bug.
Okay. Were you any productions or any commercials as a youth?
No, I was like one play in elementary school, but that was it.
Me too. Me too. My children was cracking on. I had one line, and I still remember it because I stole the show with the line.
Oh, what was the line?
I'm the lion.
Oh wow! I don't know how.
Killed it.
I don't know how you didn't get a Tony.
I should have got something. Like I killed it. And
that
what
was
happens?
Really good. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I
that
got
was
one.
Really good.
Like I wanted to be in stuff. I'm being honest. I went up to at North Carolina A&T and Crosby Hall. I went right over there and said, you know, they were doing different productions, and they said, you know, like if you have interest X, Y, and Z, why don't you come ask and see how you can participate? I thought participant meant I can be in the play. Participant mean like you can carry shit from there to there.
Right.
That's also participant.
It's curtain.
Yeah, this curtain need to be pulled back over here, over yonder. So when I came,
goodness gracious.
I said, you know, how can I participate? And what I thought was they're gonna put me somewhere, and it was like, nah. So that's why I felt what you just said, like you got cut. I was like, no, I came right there, and the lady, I don't even know the lady's name. She looked, and I think she was the secretary. I ain't even to the person in the back.
Oh God.
And she was just sitting there and had a little name tag right there, and I was like, you know, I seen that, and can I participate? You know, I don't have experience. And she was like, nah. I was like, that's a bitch. And that was it.
Hey, I think we should pick that mantle up and do something together. Like you'll be Kadeem Hardison, I'll be Boris Kojo, and you know what I mean? We could do a road trip buddy comedy.
That's
People
right.
Will never know.
Oh
like,
my goodness.
Yeah.
I need to film that. I need some behind the scenes on that one, buddy. That would be one hilarious road trip.
Yo, JT, you know, just like I know, you know, I need a chaperone. That's why I got married to my wife.
Yeah, we know.
I like you can't have me on the loose. Like everywhere, if I go somewhere and stuff, I need my wife. You know, because I don't know, like you know, everything that comes to my brain.
We understand.
Yeah. You know, and I'm like,
filter.
Correct. And I don't even mean bad by it. Like if I don't know something, like yo, you know, you meant to wear your wood crooked, or is that the stuff? Like I'll say some stupid stuff, and
no.
You said you got the ADD.
That's why you gotta reel it in. All right, reel you back in. All right,
like that.
Yes.
Okay, now keep on going. So now, what was the step where you said, "Yo, Wayne State, I'm out. I'm going to Cali, and I'm out here." What was that? What was the thing that made you say, "I gotta go over here and step on faith and I gotta go take it to the next level? What was
Well, it was my love of Scientology and seeing what they
it's like,
I was about to
whoa.
say,
I was
what?
like, yo, like,
I was about to
I
say,
couldn't even
what?
keep a straight face. I couldn't
yo,
even keep a straight
like,
face.
yo, for real, me and Tom Cruise just connected. Like, what?
Oh
Brought
my
them tin
God.
cans and put my hands on them, and I felt the vibrate. No,
Oh,
what made me
Oh,
step out
that's
of faith
funny.
is, I mean,
bars.
I was working in Detroit as an actor. Like I said, I was doing voiceovers and industrial films, which are like training safety films, mainly for like Ford, GM, and Chrysler, because Detroit's a big motor city. And
Yes.
I was a working actor in Detroit, and my dream was to be able to go to Hollywood, do movies, television. So I saved up a bunch of money, came out here. My homie was already out here in LA, so
Okay.
moved in with him, and I started doing work as a production assistant and a background actor when I first got here, as I was kind of really planting my feet in the LA soil. And then it was a long
I'm
journey
sure.
to where I am today, which I've been here 22 years. It took really like 14 years to really get to the point where I get to work full time as an actor. In between, there
Okay.
was jobs, I would book stuff here and there, but not enough to make a full time living. So I was waiting tables for a bit. I was a substitute teacher for 10 years. So I always kind of had a side job up until about 8 years ago now. So for the last 8 years, I've been working full
Well,
time as an actor.
That's
Still doing
beautiful.
how
voiceover.
do you how
Still
do you
doing.
not quit though? How do you not get, because
Yeah.
some people like, I mean, it takes a lot to press to get to that. So working all that and you're on a film or you're doing something and then you're going back
Mhm.
to a job. Like what does that feel like to be like, oh, I did this, but now I'm broke again, or now I gotta go back and work? Like, what does that feel like?
I mean, it can be an emotional yo-yo type of effect. And it to answer your first question, how do you keep doing it? It's just something that you really passionate about and that you love, and you really feel like there's nothing else I could do that will make me completely happy. So that's what
Bar.
made it worth it. Is that, and also you get you know little indicators along the way that like you're built for this business. You know what I mean? You would certain performances that I gave or jobs I would get, like I see I can do this. I can do this well. It's just I haven't gotten the opportunities to really showcase it. So that's what really kept me going, was just my strong desire for performing and storytelling. And then in the in between time, in the meantime, I made sure I did things to make my life feel fulfilled and happy. From you know making sure I traveled. I love to travel internationally. Uh, Continue to go to plays and go to
Right,
museums and cultural
right,
events. But I made sure I had a full life outside of the entertainment business, and that I wasn't reliant completely on entertainment and acting to make me feel whole and make me feel successful and make me feel good about myself. I had great
right. The
friendships.
balance.
So I had a full life completely outside of acting and entertainment that I felt made the journey uh, easier to kind of go through, I guess.
Okay.
Dig it,
So
dig it.
now going through that journey and then having some type of semblance of a support system there in LA, what was the transition like? Because you come from Detroit and coming from a stable background where your mom is a social worker and you go to North Carolina, which is in the South, then come to Wayne State and now to California. How was that? How was that environment where to stay grounded per se? Because I hear stories of people go to LA and lose themselves and then also get into some real wild stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so now, how were you able to say, nah, I'm good. I'm not going to go in that room in that party. I'm going to keep staying down and I'm gonna keep going. And the only reason I'm saying this is because whatever your preference is,
Mm.
regardless of it, you have, it seems as if you
The
did not
access.
lose, you didn't lose yourself. And how did you not lose yourself in what is LA and the cesspool that it could become?
I think it's my foundation, how I was raised, my value system, and also understanding that whatever is in those rooms or parties or side rooms is not going to make me successful. It's not going to make me happier. Like, I feel like some people feel like, oh, if I go in there with this person, that then maybe they'll give me a job. Maybe that's the allure for certain people. But
Yeah,
I
sure.
always knew my success would come on my terms. maybe not on my time, but on my terms. So there was never
Awesome.
a feeling that like, oh, let me take the shortcut. Let me take this route that might, compromise my morals because, oh, it'll make me successful or give me this job. I always understood that wasn't the path I wanted to take. Like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I want to be able to sleep with myself at night. Well, that sounds bad.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna say pause. Yeah. But now question. Now the next one from there would be, have you ever encountered your name opening up doors or even closing doors for you? Because if someone said Joel Steingold and then you showed up like, hey, and they like, we were expecting someone else. Has that ever happened?
Yeah, all the time. All the time. I mean, especially because I do voiceover, all you hear is my voice and you might hear my name slated at the beginning of my audition. People may not know. So it's often a topic of discussion. People, how'd you get that last name? But I've never felt like it was I will say I felt like it was a hindrance in the voiceover world because for years I went by just Joel Steingold. My middle name is Damany, which is a black ass name.
That's black.
Yes.
And most of the stuff I audition for and work on as a voiceover actor are, black sounding voices, for lack of a better term, because black folks sound lots of different ways. But there is like a traditional, black colloquial sound that people are looking for on a lot of these voiceover projects. So long story short, I started going by Damany, which is my middle name. Okay. And then Jackson, which is just a ubiquitous black last name. Yeah. And all of a sudden I started working a whole lot as a voiceover actor. So it definitely taught me the lesson on, how perception is a big part of what drives a lot of human behavior. And it tripped me out. Like I was, getting work here and there as Joel Steingold, but Damany Jackson started booking up a storm. And I think it just took the guesswork out of who I culturally might be when you hear me on a voiceover audition. Because imagine you're casting for a McDonald's commercial that's geared towards an urban market, and you're like, oh yeah, we want African American, 35 to 45. And then you hear my audition, and at the top of my audition, you hear Joel Steingold. And then you hear my read, you might get pulled out of it and think, oh, Steingold, is he black?
Right.
Is he doing black throat?
Yeah, black throat.
Right.
It's the blackface. No, that's black throat.
Black throat. And you know what I mean? All that to say is the spot is 30 seconds. So the first 15, 20 seconds, they're not listening. They're wondering what my ethnic background is. So I've lost the job because they're really not paying attention. They're in their head about something.
Absolutely. My children's godmother, rest in peace. It was my wife's best friend. She was a voiceover, Cecilia Holmes. She go by Toy. And she, won awards in New York and did very well for herself. And it was like, man, how do you make a living doing that? It was like, I'm contract, I do this, I get paid this. And I'm like, holy chuck, like, it's so creative, but at the same time, she was like, okay, I got to do tea. And then she had her own little like studio in her home. But then when we would travel, sometimes she would come, say, oh, I'm gonna meet y'all over there. And I'm sitting there looking like, well, don't you gotta work? It's like, yeah, all I need is a closet. And I'm like, closet? No, literally. All I need is a closet. And I can put stuff up and do this, and then I could do my stuff in my studio. All I need is my Mac, my MacBook Pro. And I was like, so I bring my mic and everything, and I was like, I wish I was that creative in that idea, because it wasn't as if she had to stay in one particular place, because voiceovers, it's through contracts. And I was like, this is awesome. So when she was like, yeah, I'm the voice of Nickelodeon, and I was the voice of Nike for that many years. And I was like, did they give me free stuff? Yeah. And she was like, no. And that was pretty awesome.
Like, she said, "You give you free stuff."
We always looking for the hookup.
Yeah, I was absolutely.
No, but I wanted to say too, like I looked
reparations.
Bars. But I was looking at all of your voiceovers, and you do video games, you do animations, and I was listening to your voice, and it would be totally different from this one and different, and there were the different sounds, and whether it was McDonald's or Nike or whatever it is. Like, how do you Is there like a training that you do vocally? Is there a regimen that you have to do in order to do certain things? Like how do you prepare for each
No
project?
soda. Okay, cool.
How I prepare? I mean, life prepares me. Um, I've always, mimicked people, played around with accents, studied people as characters. So I just pull from just life, and I'm always joking around with friends doing accents. So I don't have any structured training as far as character voices. Now I have taken
Mm-hmm.
voiceover acting classes and acting classes. I mean, because voiceover at the foundation, at the root of it, is acting. It's not, oh, how do you
Yeah.
sound? It's, how do you imbue this performance with something that's interesting? So it
Mm-hmm.
really, at the root of it, comes from my acting training. But as far as character voices, it's just paying attention to people, hearing people who have maybe an interesting cadence or interesting way of saying something, and kind of remembering that. Like, can I put that into a character? Like, my
Mm-hmm.
uh, elementary principal, Pierre Hendricks. He was for the last few years, and he had a way of talking. Boy, give me 50 push-ups. Boy, his cadence came from, so like, think voices like that I always remember. So if it fits for a
Gotcha.
certain character, I can pull from that. Or the
Wow.
kid who had a list in class, that, well, can I
Yeah.
incorporate that?
Coogee rap, the rapper with the
You know?
list.
But that's it, because you got to be intuitive to do that. You know what I mean? It's almost like you
Uh,
take on, I mean, you got to be very perceptive to like a memory. It's like a muscle memory. You know what I
yeah.
mean? If you could years from go and pull from that,
Mhm.
that's a skill,
Yeah,
you know,
Because
that you
I'm
can't pay
always,
for. So for some people.
yeah, I'm always really interested and fascinated by language and colloquialisms or slangs, because every culture has it. You know what I mean? Where we have a certain thing that we say to each other that nobody else says to us, we allow to say to us.
standing on
Uh,
Right.
business. All right, go
exactly,
ahead.
exactly. So I find that fascinating, because as actors, what we're really trying to do is communicate an idea or a story. So there's so many different ways to communicate. Like I said, through body language, through different slangs, different accents. So to me, that's a major tool, a really important tool that actors use, is how, not what we communicate, but how we communicate. So it's always a lot of fun for me to just study and really listen to how people talk.
Okay. Now,
Gotcha.
the next part, right? Are you able to mimic people?
A few people. That's not my
Okay.
forte.
All
That's
right.
not,
Gotcha.
but
Because
there's a few people, but yeah, that's not mainly what I get hired.
got you. Because like I'm listening to you and you say, all right, I pay attention. So for me, I listen and I say, okay. And then a lot of times, because I'm paying attention to a person, I can actually mimic their bodyism,
Mhm.
mannerisms. And then I'll be like, okay, you can speak to them. But my question to you, right? Now I want you, all right, you got Mount Rushmore, there's four, right? Who are your four favorite voices of all time? Like I have four, all right, and like you know what? I think I give you my four, so you'll see. I
I
want.
think he
I think you give us.
understands how
Yeah, okay.
to.
Like my four, James Earl Jones is one.
Yeah.
Okay, James
Yeah, of
Earl
course.
Jones is one. Number two is Chris Rock.
Mhm.
Number three is what's the guy? I don't know his name, but he was the father. He was the father in ATL of Nunu, and he played in everything else. And what's the other one with Lorenz Tate and went to Vietnam? It was
I
Robin
don't know.
Banks. They were Robin Banks. Oh, when they put the black faces on, the white
That
the white
president.
faces.
I don't
Dead
know.
president. The remember the guy that had lost the leg, his man. But anyway, that gentleman. And then the last one, the guy from he does the Allstate commercials, but he played in
Dennis
Yeah,
Haysbert.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Those are my top four. Like when you hear their
Mhm.
Okay.
voices, you be like, okay.
Got
Like,
you.
and now who are your top four? And Wanda Sykes is an honorable mention because she got to
Mhm.
be because Wanda Sykes,
Got
when you
you. So
hear
his top
her,
four. We need
your
his
top
top
four.
four.
Who's your top four Mount Rushmore voices of all time?
Whoopi Goldberg,
Mm.
Keith
Oh,
David,
Keith David.
Al Pacino.
Oh my God, Keith David. Ooh,
Al Pacino and James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones. Okay. All right. Hey, Al Pacino, I'm like, okay, I got you.
Yeah, that raspy quality, the way he talk, you know. And the way he says motherfucker. Motherfucker.
Oh no, he got the second best motherfucker of all time. He's not even in the first. All right. First of all time, Samuel got the best
Samuel Jones.
Samuel Jackson got the best motherfucker.
The reason I disagree is we all got an uncle. We all got an uncle that say motherfucker just like Sam Jackson.
I know, but he got the best one.
I don't know anybody who says motherfucker like Al Pacino.
You're right.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I got you. Okay, but yeah.
You go to any black neighborhood in Philly, Chicago, Detroit, Memphis.
Yes, you're right.
You want anybody say motherfucker, it's gonna sound close to Sam Jackson.
Facts. That is true.
Many white folks that can pull it off that way.
Okay. Respectable. Respectable.
All right.
So now, are you doing any animation cartoons? Because it seems like your voice has to be very different, because Eddie Murphy, he did, like, I don't think anybody can do Donkey. Like as I said, Eddie Murphy, we're not gonna pay you no more. Like, who else could pick up that role? Because Eddie Murphy plays Donkey to a T. And I'm like, So now I'm like, are there any other movies, especially animations, that is coming up for you, or you would like to do?
No, I rarely get animation work. I get animation work here and there. That's a really tough industry to break into, and especially when it comes to feature film animation, they're usually hiring celebrity voices.
Gotcha.
So it's really hard for a non-celebrity to kind of break into that industry. So a lot of the voiceover stuff I do video games, radio commercials, television commercials, promos. Like I was the voice for Fox Sports for a while.
Yes.
What else? I've done some audio books.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
You just did an audio book that I just listened to, and it said Joel Steingold. It was after I knew that you were going to be on the show, and it said this book was read by. I'll think of it in a second. I will. Okay, but anyway, with the voiceovers, I looked at the page. So you have a manager, but then I see you have like several agents for all of your different things. Like you have something for voiceover, you have something for theater, you have something. So how do you balance all of that? Like you have a manager, but then you have like all these individuals, and I never knew. I thought a manager just did it all. But
everything.
Yeah.
No, so I have agents for different, categories of work. So I have an agent who represents me for commercials, on-camera commercials. I have an agent who represents me for TV and film. Then I have a voiceover agent who reps me for anything voiceover related. My manager works in tandem with my agent for TV and film. And then as far as voiceover, I have agents. I probably have 4 different voiceover agents around the country, because I don't like to miss a bag, aka
bars. I get you on that.
So I want to be able, sometimes there's certain auditions or jobs that stay within a specific market. Let's just say, like Whataburger. I ended up doing some spots for Whataburger. That job never made it to my agent in LA, but it made it to my agent in North Carolina. So sometimes, geographically, I want to make sure that I'm being covered in different regions around the country. So basically, I have different agents for different things.
Yeah, that was actually pretty cool. And so I know the book now. It was This Is the Honey by Kwame Alexander. I was listening to that. He's a poet, so I was listening to his new stuff because I'm a poet too. And I was like, Joel Steingold, what? That's Joel Steingold. But that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I got to be one in there. I'm so glad to hear that you listen to it.
Absolutely. It was good. It was good.
So now you have different agents. Do they all get the same rate?
Yeah, they all get the same rate from the job they get me. They don't all get a cut.
Got you.
In their category. Whatever they submitted me on, if I get it, then they get a cut.
Okay, that's fair. You eat what you kill. Got you. And what about your manager? Your manager, does he get a cut for everything?
No. So my manager only represents me in the TV and film sphere. So if it falls under that category, then he gets 10%.
Fair
but
enough.
Like he's not involved with my voiceover career, mainly because that's not his specialty.
Okay.
You want a manager or an agent who has relationships in that field that can help, further your career.
Right.
A
Makes
manager
sense.
doesn't work in the voiceover space, so it wouldn't make sense to pay him a cut if he's not helping,
Right.
generate work.
Makes sense.
Okay, because how I'm understanding what you're saying, I was like, okay, so you do not have a 360 deal. So, like,
Nope.
yeah, you're paying all this. I'm going to get you all these works in different genres, but
There
I'm
are
going to
certain
cover
people
everything.
who have agents. They might have an agency that covers everything.
Yeah.
That's just not. I prefer to, work with somebody who specializes in this thing. Like my voiceover agent
Bars.
here in LA, all they do is voiceover. They have a commercial department, but their voiceover department, that's all they do. So they specialize in that. It's like I prefer to go to a butcher to get my meat versus going to the grocery store
Gotcha.
because my
Right.
butcher
Right.
does nothing but meat. Pause.
Yeah.
All day.
Yes, bars.
Okay.
Yes, I got you.
All right. So now tell us, how did you get your role in your current show right now?
You talking about The Shy?
Yes, sir.
I got that role.
I watched the premiere, man. I watched the premiere. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
watched the premiere.
Thank you for watching. I was watching it. I actually fell asleep on it last night because I was tired.
Dude is crazy. He's crazy.
Yeah,
He's crazy. I did see.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Really
I'm sorry.
he had a really good scene in that episode. He was just laid out like this.
He was.
Talking to Jacob Lattimore's character.
He
like,
was.
You call me kid. I'm like, that's the most relaxed killer I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was.
And that's the scariest. We like, you that comfortable with killing? But how I got on the show, I ended up reaching outside of LA and got an agent in Chicago. And that agent, the second audition that she sent me was for The Shy. And auditioned for it. And I know Lena since before Lena blew up. Like we used to go to parties together. We had a bunch of mutual friends. So like when I met Lena, I think she was like a writing assistant. And I had done some like table reads for her, and she has these like writing workshops, or had these writing workshops. I'm not sure if she still has them. And so in between auditioning for it, and I heard through the grapevine that my tape made it all the way to Lena. It was between me and another actor, and I assume because of the work that Lena had seen me do in some of her table reading workshops and the work that I did on that audition, she was like, I think Joel is right for this role. I'm sure a lot of other people weighed in. As an actor, we never know what goes on in that casting room. But that's how I ended up on The Shy. And it was really cool because getting that Chicago agent meant I had to work as a local hire, because when I got that audition, they assumed that I lived in Chicago, but I was willing to, hustle and pay for my own flight. And I got the job. So for that first season 3, I was only in 3 episodes. My homeboy stayed in art. He was like, you can stay in my basement. So crashed with him. And fortunately, they brought me back after season 3. And when they brought me back, they decided to treat me as an LA hire, which meant they would pay for my travel and pay for my hotel, which was beautiful because I didn't have to worry about taking care of all of my own accommodation.
Okay, so that's pretty awesome. So now you're in The Shy, and now has any other roles opened up to you because now you have even more exposure?
Absolutely. You brought up, Kwame Alexander, Jay, and the poetry book. So Kwame Alexander wrote a book called The Crossover that they turned into a Disney Plus series. And I was lucky enough to get on that series. We shot it about 2 years ago out of New Orleans. And Kwame and Damany, the producers and showrunners of that show, they were fans of The Shy. And that had a lot to do with them casting me. I still had to audition, but they were just like, you work on The Shy. So they were able to, be familiar with some of my stuff before even hiring me. And I think that had a lot to do with me getting that show. And then, other stuff you never know. A lot of people don't tell you that they're, have seen your work or are fans of things that you do. So it can never hurt. But that was the one job that I knew was related to The Shy. They were like, we love watching you on there. We were excited to have you, come and be on our show.
Okay.
Yeah. Because he did How to Get Away with Murder with Viola Davis, and you worked with a lot of, great actors. Luke James, I like Luke James. A lot of great actors, and that's what I was saying too. And I always say this on KROSS BARZ is that, you just got to be ready, and you don't never know. And the whole point of KROSS BARZ podcast is just what you're saying. making that connection, and somebody might know somebody that might call you and might be in the right position. And so it's just always being ready. When you never know what's going to come your way. You'll never know who you talked to 10 years ago that might be your link to your next thing today. So, that's bars on that. I just wanted to kind of put that out there.
So my question now, where now you're actually have a more high visible, because I would say because you've been in the genre for so long, you got 20 plus years. So now what is next for you? Because right now, very visible, getting different opportunities. So now where do you see yourself going, and where do you want to go? Where do you project, per se?
I project moving into the lane of producing. So
Okay.
that's what's next. Dip my toe in the water of producing. Last year, invested in my first Broadway show.
Oh,
so that I'm not a producer. You got to put a lot of money.
Yeah, I was like, whoa. You saw me. Broadway, whoa. That real estate
Yeah,
is.
I got my pinky toe in there, but you got to start.
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
I made sure it wasn't ashy, and I
Okay.
just dipped my toe in the Broadway water. So that's definitely like one step in that direction. And so because there's stories that I want to tell.
For instance, give us one of the stories where you think should get more light. Bring some to the Silver
somebody
Screen
might steal it.
No, not really. If he has it,
I don't. Yeah, man, that take them too much time for me to pitch.
Okay.
I have a log line for it, but
Okay.
I would say this. It's a story based on a brother who works at the coroner's office, and his job is picking up dead bodies around the city, and his love of murder mystery, and ends up, in a little bit of a quandary as far as how to provide for his family, and some of the expertise that he's learned from going to pick up dead bodies from crime scenes in different places, kind of leads him on this journey towards taking care of home.
That right there just put something in my mind from something I've seen and I showed before to plenty of over the years. Glory. If you remember or recall the part where Morgan Freeman, how he became a soldier, was he would clear the fields, because remember, at first, Blacks, African Americans, could not join the military on either side. And so they were the ones that had to bury. That was one of the jobs many Black people had, was burying people, mortuary, morticians, things of that nature. So he would pick up the bodies, and then it was like, oh, you can be a soldier? And he volunteered. So it's like following that, that journey of him becoming a soldier and then fighting. That's why when you said that, it might be an ordinary guy, but he might do something extraordinary, and you don't realize, well, that's where he came from, and
those are the kind of stories I'm interested in telling, is, people who come from a background you're not familiar with, or maybe have a job that a lot of people don't know about, and kind of what their journey, what their story is. And I'm especially interested in telling stories
backgrounds
from the perspective of a person of color that doesn't fit into the mold of like, traditionally what Black folks do.
I love it. I love that.
There's so many things, and I feel like that's great. There's clearly been a lane for like things that are traditionally, I envision Black folks doing that, acting that way. But I know tons of folks who, are Black or brown and have a unique story that, like, if you generalize, you'll be like, oh, Black folks don't do that. And I'm like, no, we do.
Yes, they do. Bars. I love that. That's good.
It's three people in particular that I really, I like. I was like, come on, make a movie about it. Number one was Ella Baker, excuse me. Ella Baker was the woman that actually tried to get Martin and Malcolm together, and she was like the grassroots persons of putting a lot of the civil rights and people in positions. She was basically what people would call a kingmaker in the community back during the 50s and 60s. So she had a lot of in the background. The other person is Dr. John Henrik Clarke. He's probably not, he is the smartest person I've ever heard out loud in person. Like, oh my God, he's just so knowledgeable. And I was like, oh, he's so smart, he's scary. So I was like, telling his story, or telling Ella Baker's story, or even You know, some of the ones that I've seen movies done about, but it didn't get the widespread, like Toussaint L'Ouverture. You know, when Toussaint came out and it was like limited, and then it's like, okay, we're only showing it in Baltimore, Philly, and part of
I
Oakland.
never even knew there was a movie about Toussaint.
Yeah, Toussaint. Yeah, and it was about Toussaint, and because I saw the preview for it, and I was like, you know,
How did
and it
they
was
do it? How did they do it without $300 million with all the battle scenes?
now watch this. The real crazy part is some of these movies that's from the Caribbean and overseas, it get to us very late. So I'm gonna give you an example of where Hollywood remakes it, but it was really in Europe. I know two in particular. It's probably plenty, but two that I know of. One, the girl with the dragon tattoo. That was from Europe first, and then they remade it again. And I was
Yeah,
like,
there's tons of shows
correct.
like that.
Yeah, and then the next one.
Sanford and Son. Sanford and Son was a British show first. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that. You
It
just put me on the
was?
game.
Yeah, about a
Wow.
British trash collector and his son. Yeah.
Wow. And then
Really?
the other one was the one with Kevin Hart and the guy from Breaking Bad when he was a paraplegic.
Oh yeah, I saw that as a French movie.
Yeah, French movie. Because the
I saw
guy
the original.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, I know
Not
what you're
original.
talking
So
about.
when I saw the first one, I was like, that's the remake. The original one was
Right.
good. I like the first one is what better anyway. But no knock to Kevin Hart, but both of them were
Yeah, it was
good.
good.
Right.
Yeah. So, but at the same time, you know, some of the movies that's why I was like, Toussaint needs to be bigger because that was around the same time that what is it? The KKK movie. Oh my God, Birth of the Nation, the black one that was done. It was around the same time, but it didn't get shine, and I was like, that sucks. Now, my next thing, let's go here because well, this is me because JTJ try to stop me from doing it. She be trying to interject some things, and this is just for you, bro. I do this thing where I say this bad, you get to choose, right? So, for instance, right, if I say you like a team, you say, do you like the Detroit Lions or the Chicago Bears? You can say one or the other, or you can say both or neither. Okay. So
all right.
So if I say Detroit Lions or the Chicago Bears, which one are you picking?
Detroit Lions.
Real simple, right?
Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So now I give some easier ones and some harder ones. Okay.
All right.
All right. Start off with an easy one. Jordan or LeBron?
LeBron.
Good job. All right. Chicago pizza or Detroit pizza?
Detroit pizza.
You out of your mind. Okay, y'all like fifth.
Detroit
All right,
pizza?
oh, stop. Oh, she shade. That shade. Okay.
I didn't hear
Detroit.
I said Detroit has pizza?
Yeah, they got their own style. Yeah.
We're having a whole renaissance right now. There's like 3 or 4 Detroit style pizza places in LA right now. Like we shot at people.
Really?
They slept on our pizza.
Yeah,
my cousin Shantae, I got to hit him. I've never had Detroit pizza. I had Chicago and all of that.
Speaking of some, you don't know. Speaking of,
see. All right, here we go. Let's give you some more little easy layups. All right, let's go. Aretha Franklin or Patti LaBelle?
Aretha Franklin.
Aretha Franklin, and you know why? Because he was a PA for Aretha Franklin.
Got you.
On a few of her music videos, bro.
Listen, I'm giving them layups.
Okay, come
and then
on,
you know the hard ones.
Okay.
All right. Let's get a little harder. Pacino or De Niro?
Pacino.
Said that quick.
He didn't even flinch.
Okay, he didn't even flinch. All right, Tom Hanks or Denzel?
Denzel.
Okay, Drake or Kendrick?
Die.
Both. Okay. Yeah, got both. Okay.
We can't.
Listen to them.
You gotta listen to them. The whole body of Drake's work. You can't just look at this current beef situation.
I got you. Yeah. Okay. Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes?
I'm not a big sports guy. I don't know much about either.
All right. Good answer.
Honesty is the best.
Yeah, good answer. Okay. All right. Here we go. Let's give you a little bit more. All right. What's her name? Regina King or Taraji P. Henson?
Regina King.
Okay. If we go with movies, Boys in the Hood or Menace to Society?
Mm. Menace.
Menace?
Yeah, like the characters. I thought they were just a little more
Okay.
interesting to watch.
You should
Yeah,
have
no,
said
no
don't
shade
be
at
a
Boys in
menace.
the Hood, but like O-Dog, oh my God, O-Dog,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
old dog.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
old dog.
right. All right. Okay. Got you. All right. Look. Snoopy or Mickey Mouse?
Snoopy, better music.
The Mickey Mouse?
Yeah, the music from the show
Okay.
went and did a whole jazz album based on Snoopy beats.
Got
God
you.
damn. Ooh, bars.
Bars.
And he,
Okay.
ain't say much. I like that. You know, a wise
Okay.
man
At all.
said nothing at all.
Okay. All right. Grits. Okay.
Bullshit.
Grits or oatmeal?
Oatmeal.
I don't know if I
Cream of
told you.
wheat.
Whoa, no. See, that's what she tried to do. As I told you. No. Okay. He said his oatmeal. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
I like the taste of grits, but oatmeal's
Got you. Got you. Not a problem. All right. Best summers, Detroit or LA?
Detroit, because it only lasts 3 months, so we get it all the way in.
He said the heat.
Okay. Look. Got him. And now get her. And look. Let's see where we really at. Because
Few
now
more. We're almost out of here. Yes.
Michigan State or Michigan?
Michigan, go back.
That was different. Okay. Now let's start. Get here. The Pistons or the Lions?
Oh, the Lions.
I'll say what year
All right. And let's wrap it up.
That's a loaded question.
And look, and now let's
Yeah.
wrap it up and now get to some more ones that are Biggie or Tupac.
Biggie.
Okay.
All right.
Beyonce or Mary J. Blige?
Beyonce.
Okay. And let's end it on one of our theatric ones. Spike Lee or Tyler Perry?
Spike Lee.
All right. You did very well. I only got him with one.
But I win.
Huh? You won? Oh, you won an all-expensive trip paid to your home. All right. Okay.
Thank you.
Walk right into the house. Yeah.
You want a KROSS BARZ. You beat a KROSS BARZ sippy cup.
All right, that'll work. Hey,
Yeah,
can I get that and the expense paid trip to my house? Because gas prices is about $5.60 a gallon here. I got a 9-mile drive, so that's about
Wait.
Cash
Hold on
at
for a
me,
second.
I appreciate it.
Stop for a second.
I got you. I appreciate it.
Gas is what?
Like about $5.60 a gallon out here.
Oh, heck no. I was mad about 309.
Oh my.
My flex fuel 309. That's what I tried.
Okay. All right.
I don't know.
I thought one, but I thought that was too easy. I was going to say coffee or tea, but because you got the robe on, you definitely look like you was drinking tea, fan. And you know what I mean? For your voiceovers, I'm like, yeah, you probably get it. You drinking some green tea.
Some tea and crumpets.
No. Voiceover and
yes,
coffee. No.
Yeah, I like it. Absolutely. So Joel, what can we find you on social media? We want to get at you, find what you're going on website. What can we find you social media first?
Social media, Joel Damany Steingold. Damany. You put Joel Damany, it'll pop up.
Oh, that's what's
I'm
up.
mainly on Instagram. Oh, your auntie can catch me on Facebook.
You say auntie. All right. And then the last thing is I seen you doing something with your fam, some activities. You got any things, you plans coming up, any vacation things you working on? I know you said you got your drone out. I seen that on Instagram. You got your drone out, so you fly drones.
I love flying drones. I just got me a new one, so I'm practicing flying that, and I'm going to Belize in about 2 or 3 weeks. Don't tell the producers of the show.
No, we won't tell. We won't tell.
I'm gonna practice flying my drone there, have some fun in Belize. And that's the next trip. And then I'm excited tonight. I'm going to see Trevor Noah at the Hollywood Bowl.
Ooh, I like Trevor Noah. He got some insight. All righty then. Well, that's all we got. We have for you. Thank you so much.
Man, when I see you, I'm
Miss-
calling you JD. Hold up, man. You can't put that hat on. Wait a minute.
No.
You look like
He
Pierre.
got the style.
No, it's not. No, that's Pierre.
Yes.
He look like Pierre now. The
Pierre the comedian.
Know, yes.
I had to hit him with the brim. You know, it's gonna be a little too hot to do this whole thing in it. But
I love it.
Oh,
he
you
got
so
the fashion sense.
Yeah, man, you could be in the streets crazy.
Because you jack of all trades.
Yeah, I'll be lying over that. Nah, you didn't see me. That was Pierre. That was Boys Kojo. Yeah, absolutely.
Yo, that's what's up. Hey, well, shout out to you. You should start a fashion line or a hat line, though. I could see you doing something like that. Have a little brand line. Hey, I'm saying that.
You look like you look like money. That's what's going on. You look like money. You know what I mean? You look like money.
All right.
Let me hold something. Oh, my bad. Yeah, you look like
Mr. Joel Steingold, thank you so much for hanging out with us on KROSS BARZ. You can find us, that's KROSS BARZ. You can find us on Instagram and X and Facebook and all that. So make sure you like, share, subscribe the podcast, y'all. Tune in, stay focused, y'all. Peace.
All right.